Wizard101 is a game that has a lot of questing. Like, a lot of questing. I'm fine with defeating a few Greyhorn mercenaries, but after the 27th one, I start to get a little tired of it. And yes, 27 is a real number. So today I'm going to be showing you a handful of side activities you can do in Wizard101 if you're getting tired of the grind. Some of these might be a little obvious, but Wizard101 is so versatile that there's a good chance there's at least one thing here you've never tried. There were a few things on this list I haven't even tried before. So let's get to the list.
Oh my gosh! A floating shopping list! Ah!
Wait, wrong list. Alright, so I want to start this video off with one of the most important hobbies a wizard can have, and that is pet training. Pet training is a great hobby to get into because you can give your pet loads of talents that are extremely useful for PvE, for PvP, for any kind of thing. There are so many unique talents you can put on your pet, and everyone is given a pet at the beginning of the game. You get a pet in Wizard City early on, and there is so much nuance into training a pet and raising one and getting it to be where you want it to be. I'm not gonna get into that. What I will do is flash this guide up on screen. This guide was made by J Artistic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Go check out their X, that's where they uploaded this guide. If you want a good guide into getting on how to train pets, check this guide out. It's short, it's to the point, and it teaches you what you need to know. Also, not to mention that Jay has amazing art on their Twitter and Instagram, and you should definitely go check them out. Those were my fish sounds. That's how a fish sounds. Fishing is another hobby that can yield really good rewards. There's a lot of reasons you should fish, so let's talk about it for a second. Fishing is a hobby that's going to have you going to all the different corners of the spiral, looking for the right fish, trying to get the rare ones, and possibly getting cool chests along the way. And maybe even getting a permanent mount. Ooh. The fish that you catch can also be displayed in your house if you have a tank or an aquarium to put them up in, which I think that's pretty cool. There are also some crafting recipes that require you to use fish. These recipes aren't that common to the point that you have to fish for them, but you can get some pretty cool stuff from these recipes, like mounts. I recommend this hobby. It's cool. I don't typically do it myself. I would say you should prioritize training a pet or gardening over fishing, but if you're on a character where you're not training a pet or gardening, just do some fishing. If fishing sounds fun to you and you don't know where to get started, you just talk to Lucky Hookline in the comments. Is Lucky Hookline really his name? Man, I guess he was born to do his job, huh? Photomancy. This is a really fun one. Photomancy is one that I wish more people would use, because there is so much potential with Photomancy. Photomancy is accessible to anyone, really. You just have to press the Z button on your keyboard and you can take a picture. And this can be used for so many things. There's so many possibilities. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make a little skit using only the Wizard101 Photomancy feature and the power of editing. Here it is. Professor! They put up an Arby's in Old Town!
Oh, Arby's. I've never had Arby's before. I'm gonna go try it. I'm gonna eat all their food and maybe a roast beef sandwich.
Professor, no! Okay guys, this little side hobby is one that I could spend actual hours on and not notice that even 2 minutes has passed. I love for my wizards to look amazing. I put a lot of effort into the stitches I make for my characters, and I think it's very fun to look your best, because why wouldn't you? And with the semi-recent addition of the Rate My Stitch feature, you can actually get some pretty cool stuff for making good outfits. Rate My Stitch allows you to show off your coolest outfits. People can vote for you, and if you get enough votes, I believe you get stitch tokens, which allows you to stitch your gear for free, which is pretty cool. I wish that stitching was just free on its own. That's always been one of my pet peeves, but we are kind of striving in that direction because you don't really need to pay to have a good outfit. Sure, there are a lot of good cosmetics locked behind packs. Some of the best looking gear in the game is paid gear, But if you go to the bazaar, there are so many options. You can mix and match stuff, and it is almost endless. I've made so many of my stitches just with bazaar gear. In fact, I'm gonna make a stitch with bazaar gear right now. Looking good. And I did all of this with just gold. You really don't need crowns to make a great outfit. If you want to enter an outfit and rate my stitch, talk to Maxwell Sharp in the shopping district. House decorating can honestly take up hours of your time if you let it. There's just so many items that you can get for your houses. So much diversity in them. And the best part, there are so many housing items that can be bought with gold. From the bazaar, from other stores. There are packs in the crown shop that give you a bunch of furniture items for gold. House decorating is also accessible to any player because you don't even need a house. You already have a dorm room, and that is enough to make it look beautiful. This is how me and my partner made my dorm room look in the last video I uploaded, and I think you can get these dorm rooms looking pretty cool just with gold. And it's also really fun because of the more recent advanced move option that lets you get crazy with how you move items. You can move them freely, you can scale them up, you can rotate them. And it is so fun to play around with that because the possibilities are really endless with how many items you can get for your house for just gold. It makes it really fun to play around with, especially if you have a bigger house. You can do some crazy stuff with it. And even the houses can be bought for gold, by the way. Most houses can be purchased for gold in the crown shop. You can even set up your house on castle tours, where other people can come visit your castle, raid it, and if you have a good looking house, you can end up on the popular page, and so many people will come visit your house. This is a really cool option that I honestly forget is even in the game sometimes. There's just so many things in this game, it's hard to remember all of it, but this is a feature that I definitely want to start using more. Maybe it would be fun to do a castle tour video one day where I just go look at other people's houses. Who knows? If you want to put your house on castle tours, just talk to Myrella Windspire. She has this shop in the commons. She'll get you set up. Gardening is going to be your #1 stop for Mega Snacks. Which, if you don't know what Mega Snacks are, those are snacks that help your pet level up way faster than with normal snacks. Take a double XP pet weekend and then use some Mega Snacks and your pet can get to Mega within a few minutes. Gardening is also useful to give you other stuff like treasure cards, reagents, gold, lots of nice goodies. The only downside of gardening I would say though is that it takes up energy. So you're not really going to want to do this hobby if you're trying to train your pet or if you're doing some other thing that requires energy like fishing. But this is useful enough of a hobby that I would say it is not a waste of energy to do this. I would recommend gardening to anyone playing this game. If you want to get into gardening, just talk to Melinda Wu in the life school and just make sure you are level 12. Also shout out to Melinda, she is the coolest professor at Ravenwood. I would hang out with her. Crafting is one of what I would call the big 3 hobbies. Those hobbies would be gardening, pet training, and crafting. I would consider those hobbies the most useful and important hobbies you can pick up. And crafting definitely deserves a spot up there because crafting is just so versatile. At level 56, you can actually craft some gear that is just as good as Waterworks gear, and it can save you time if you don't feel like farming Waterworks. I usually go this route because crafting is just really fun to me and it's more convenient. I enjoy the aspect of collecting resources a lot more than I do defeating the same boss over and over again. It's not only just gear though, because you can craft housing items, treasure cards, you can even craft spells that you can learn, and you can even craft houses, like actual houses. And those are really fun because those require like a ridiculous amount of crafting, a bunch of crazy items, and it's really fun to try to gather them. One last crafting tip I have for you guys, remember that you can always get reagents from the bazaar. If you can't find them lying around, that is okay, because you can buy them from the bazaar, or sometimes you can even buy them from reagent vendors, who are usually standing next to the crafting recipe vendors. If you want to get into crafting and you don't know how, just head into Old Town. You will find Eudora Tangletree, and she will give you a quest to start crafting. Badge collecting can be a very time-consuming hobby, which doesn't really mean it's a bad hobby, it just means it can take up a lot of time. There is a way I would recommend approaching badge collecting as a hobby. Since there are so many badges in the game, I would recommend just finding a badge you like from like a list of all the badges in the game, and then going for those badges, going for the ones that appeal to you. Because there are some badges in this game that are just ridiculous and would make getting all badges be the hardest thing on the planet. Like, get this, there's a badge called Brain Basher, where you have to defeat Medulla, a pretty difficult boss, 1,000 times. And for what? A badge that says Brain Basher? Who wants to do that? That's not even a good badge. Okay, and there's also one called Undead Executioner. And you know what you have to do to get this? You have to defeat 20,000 undead. Why? I would love for badges to actually be obtainable in this game and not be super ridiculous like that. Because badge hunting, collecting all badges sounds super fun. I feel like if they toned it down, it would be a lot more accessible. But the way it is right now, I just have to advise you to pick out the badges you want and just go for them. Like for me, my character has the Meow Master badge, and as soon as I saw that, I knew I needed it. So I looked it up, and I see, oh, I have to defeat 400 cats? I'm gonna go do that. That was doable. 400 cats, that's a lot. I was there for like 2 hours. But that's doable because I knew I was working towards what I was wanting. Go find some you like. Ever wish you could capture your enemies and make them fight for you against their will? You might want to try Pokemon. Monstrology. Monstrology is a hobby that allows wizards to capture animus from enemies and use their spirit, their essence, or what Wizard101 calls their animus, as minions or as house decorations. So you can defeat enemies, capture their animus, and you can summon them in battle like you could summon a minion. Or you can also use them as house guests, house decoration. I think this is a really cool feature, especially if you're a house decorator. There are definitely benefits on that side of things. It's debatable how helpful it is in PvE and normal gameplay. Say what you will about minions, they're not the most effective, but I think they're kind of fun. If you like playing with minions, who cares if it's not the most reliable way to play? I think it's really fun, and I think playing a myth wizard who takes advantage of Monstrology would be really fun as well. I might have to go and make a myth wizard and do this. I might have to delete my old myth. Anyways, if you wanted to get started with Monstrology, you just have to go to Ravenwood and talk to Monstrologist Burke. She'll get you on the right path, and she will get you started with Monstrology, and soon you will be summoning cool guys. This might sound a little boring at first, but it's genuinely one of my favorite things to do in this game. Most of the time when I play this game, I'm just kind of playing it in the background while I do something else, and I'm just hopping on Team Up, I'm helping other people. It's just fun. If you use the kiosk in Old Town, you get to see everybody who's looking for a team right now, basically anybody in the game who's looking for help, maybe wants a questing partner. You can see what team you're joining, what instance they're going to, and I think it's a really fun way to pass the time. Plus, not to mention, there's also a Team Up badge that counts how many times you've helped teams on Team Up, and as you level it up, you get rewards unlocked. You can eventually get a mount, you can get a pet, you can get an outfit, and for an absurd amount of teams helped, I think it's like 2,000 or something, which sounds like a lot, but it's probably more than what you're thinking, because honestly, it takes a long time to get this number to build up for me. Unless you're like intentionally farming it, maybe you can do it faster. But yeah, if you get that many teams helped, you unlock this Old Town apartment, which I think is really cool, and I hope to get it one day, but it will be a while for me. Even besides the badge stuff, this is still one of my favorite things to do. I like to meet friendly people in this game, because you guys are an awesome community, and I've had so many great experiences with you guys. And I have met a lot of very nice people through Team Up. Plus, this also really helps out the lower level players, especially people who might be newer to the game. I know when I'm playing on a lower level and I get stumped somewhere, I appreciate it so much when a higher level joins the Team Up. You guys are so appreciated. And alright, that's about all I have to say. This video was really fun to work on. It was a part of the extra credits program. which is a program that KingsIsle hosts that allows content creators like myself to create content for Wizard101 and essentially never run out of ideas because we get a new prompt every month. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, more extra credit videos, I would greatly appreciate a subscribe, and I will see you later, Wizard Gators.